What's going on, y'all? It's your boy No Credit, and I'm back again with another one. I need you guys to do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon for more videos like this. That being said, let's get into it. So we all heard the recent news of NAOYA taking the number one spot from Terence Crawford after he got knocked down by Guy and Luis Neri. And this is a post from Al Pinnacle, one of the best boxing pages on Instagram. They posted this and they said Ring Magazine new pound for pound rankings, and they tag Ring TV. A lot of people don't know the Ring Magazine is owned by Oscar De La Hoya. So Oscar De La Hoya literally put NAOYA INOUE, a guy with only 27 fights, ahead of Terence Crawford, a guy with 40 fights, almost double the amount of fights. He put this guy ahead of Terence Crawford as number one pound for pound. It's disrespectful to the sport, it's laughable, and it's ridiculous. Because if we switch these two guys' resume, if we switch their record and resume, this won't even be a debate. People are trying to say, oh, he's only up there because of activity, and Crawford only fights one time a year. That makes absolutely no sense. Because if he fights as much as y'all say he fight, he will only have 27 fights. He'll have over 30 fights. He'll have around 40 fights because he's fighting so much, right? Crawford has 31 knockouts. He has more knockouts than INOUE has fights. But we're going to break all of that down today. So, number one, they make INOUE number one. They make Terence Crawford number two. Alexander Usyk, number three. He's a heavyweight. He shouldn't even be on the pound for pound list. Number four, they put Canelo Alvarez, 61, 2-2. 2 losses and 2 draws. Like, what, bro? Stop. Arthur Beterbiev, 20 wins and 20 KOs. He deserved to be on the pound for pound list. Dimitri Bivol, he's solid. Earl Spence deserves to be there. Gervonta Davis, Jesse Rodriguez. Where is Shakur Stevenson? Where is Devin Haney? And then Nakatani. Like, these people are crazy with this pound for pound list. They're leaving out Shakur and Devin Haney. You take out Devin Haney after one loss? Are you serious right now? Makes no sense. And where is Teofimo Lopez? Where is Teofimo Lopez? Let's go back to this post. Where is Teofimo Lopez? So, my comment is the number one comment on this post. So, if you seen this post, that means you seen my comment, right? That means you seen my comment, right? This is my page, Boxing Truth Over Tradition. This is what I had to say. I got over 546 likes, right? Because obviously I'm saying something right. I says, this don't even make sense. You put a 27-0 over a 40-0 two-time undisputed champion, and the first to do it. This has racial agendas written all over it. Plus, Crawford beat better competition. It's not even close. Shaking my head. And they robbed that man a fight of the year, but gave his trainer of the year. This is ridiculous. We never get a fair shake. And that's the point I'm trying to make. If INOUE was a black guy, he wouldn't be number one pound for pound. Let's be real. With only 27 fights. And let me show you one more time, because I had to bring that back. I had another comment when I left. I said, I remember they did the same nonsense with Vasyl Lomachenko when he only had 10 fights and a loss. Now they replace him for NAOYA INOUE. Adding heavyweights to the pound for pound list. You can't make this shit up. I'm going to read some of these comments, and I'm going to read some of my replies to some of these casual fangirls in the comment section. So this dude, Brazzy Egypt 14, he jumps in my comment section and he says some bullshit, but he says it in Spanish. I could translate it, but I don't feel like translating it. Matter of fact, I'll just translate it for y'all. He says, did INOUE eat your mother? Like, what, bro? Watch your mouth. Such an unnecessary hate. It's not. How is the truth? So now the truth is turning into hate? How do you sound? And this other Chanyo Lee jumps on me. He says, You're really butthurt, aren't you? Haha, you're doing everything in this comment section from playing a race card. This is what people say. You're playing a race card. I'm giving you my honest opinion. How is that playing a race card? And playing the victim card. There is no race card and victim card. Where'd you get... Why do people always say this nonsense? You're playing the race card or the victim card. That makes absolutely no sense. You're going to ridicule somebody for their opinion and call it playing a race card. That's my opinion. This is how I feel. That's not playing the victim. That's not playing a race card. And my opinion is backed by facts. Trying to judge fighters over quantity of fights they've had. Have you never heard of quality over quantity? What, bro? Exactly. That's what you never heard of. If Crawford's beating better competition, then it's definitely quality over quantity. Right? Because a lot of you guys are saying INOUE is fighting more than Terence Crawford. If INOUE is fighting more than Terence Crawford and Crawford's fighting he's fighting better competition, then that quality over quantity applies to Crawford. So he just literally embarrassed himself. He said, I would try to convince you and argue with you logically, but I've seen all from your replies so far are you don't know shit about boxing. I know more than you, so I won't bother. Just please try to live without such bias and racial viewpoint where you constantly think you're being disadvantaged. Somehow, it's exhausting way to live. No, I'm living a great life, buddy. You're just making that shit up because you didn't get your way. So I replied to this dude. I said, if you know anything about the sport, you be a rich man. You don't make $1 on the sport. Your opinions don't matter. They really don't. So let's come to this guy before we go back to my initial comment that got over 500 likes. This guy jumps in the comments and he says, Crawford fights once a year. His pound for pound was against, his only pound for pound fighter was against Spence, who was inactive coming off of every injury in a book. He's been at 147 for years, and really, if you look at his resume, he only has 2 high-level victories that weren't against washed-up opponents who was out of the ring for 20 months. We got to remember, Crawford was out of the ring for almost the amount of same months, so this guy is a complete casual fangirl. INOUE fighting 3 times a year, fighting all top guys in his division, going double undisputed back-to-back from December 22 to December 23. Who did he beat? The question is, who did he beat? Like the other guy said, quality over quantity. So he's doing all of that, but he's not fighting the guy. He's not fighting known fighters. The only one known fighter he really fought was Stephen Fulton. Crawford refused to fight as mandatory and stays inactive. Laughed my ass off. If y'all only good argument is who has a INOUE fought, then y'all just bunch of casual that only knows black American fighters from 130 and up and don't even pay attention to 130 anymore since Shakur left. But y'all won't admit it. Casual fangirl. He makes absolutely no sense, so I jump right on him. And rightfully so. I say casual, don't speak on a sport you know absolutely nothing about. Before you open your mouth or learn, take a look at the record and see how deep the gap is. Your idol INOUE only has 27 fights. You worry about Crawford fighting once a year. Crawford has almost double his fights, yet you being delusional in these comments. At age 31 years old, will your idol ever reach 40 fights? Ask yourself that before saying nonsense in the comments. Embarrassing yourself. Your statement will only be valid if INOUE had more fights. He has a significant less amount, so stop talking. He says, your favorite fighter, your favorite boxer is Floyd Mayweather. Next question. Exactly. I said, you don't know shit about boxing. I better not catch you speaking on it again. He said, INOUE is younger and he's 17 fights less than Crawford, and he's done more than Crawford in boxing. That's crazy. You just contradicted yourself. It's crazy. INOUE fights way more than Crawford. INOUE fights way more than Crawford. He's champ just as long as Crawford. Crawford is a 3-division champ. INOUE is 4. They're both undisputed, but INOUE went double undisputed back-to-back in a year. That's Crawford only pound-for-pound argument. Just admit it, bro. INOUE is and will always be greater than Terence Crawford. 100% wrong. Crawford has beat Olympic gold medalists and silver medalists. Who are the Olympic gold medalists and silver medalists INOUE's beaten? Who are the pound-for-pound top 3 talents INOUE's beaten? Let's not go there. These dudes don't know nothing about boxing, and they're just saying nonsense. This guy said, it's not even worth explaining this black and biased guy. Black boxing fans are the most delusional and get angry when you don't agree with their bullshit. Look at this racist shit. These dudes are crazy, bro. Oh man, but I'm looking for my reply. I'm not gonna say everything they're saying because they went off and I went off too. I said, how has he done more listed accolades? He is playing catch up. Crawford was the first to do everything he is trying to do. Crawford was Fighter of the Year in 2014, and they robbed Crawford Fighter of the Year in 2023. Think about it. They did rob Crawford Fighter of the Year in 2023. How? How do they give his trainer of the year and it doesn't give the fighter of the year? That makes no sense. Remember when Canelo was fighter of the year? Canelo trainer was trainer of the year. Like, what is wrong with these people? What is wrong with these people? How can y'all take that away from Crawford when Crawford was in the fight of the century, the fight of the decade, and you give INOUE fight of the year when a guy's in the fight of the decade, the fight of the century, all because he beat the other guy in a one-sided fight, and you guys was expecting a competitive fight? It makes no sense. I said Crawford the first to become undisputed twice, 3-division champ, better competition. INOUE is a 4-division champ, but against who? People we never heard of. Should we give him credit for being low-level competition, moving up three pounds a weight class with only 27 fights? Crawford has doubles the fights. Crawford double his fights and will be a 4-division champ in his next fight. Let's see if they keep this guy on top, because after that last performance where he got dropped, he should have dropped on the list as well. Stop trolling. Boom, boom, boom. These guys are still going off. I'm not going to read everything they're saying. I'm saying you don't. I do. I cover the entire sport. You don't, because you're not a boxing page and you don't follow the sport like I do. I said you don't know shit about boxing. You don't make money on it. You just a troll. How do you know more? This dude said some other shit. I said, wrong. How am I wrong? You make no money on boxing, yet you use words like wrong. The fuck are you talking about? Show me how much money you made this weekend on a sport you know nothing about, you troll. I said, how do you know more but don't put your knowledge to the test? If you knew more, you'd be a rich man, robbing the casinos and FanDuel every weekend. You just on here trolling and chatting. You absolutely know nothing about boxing. I said, you a weirdo. Come on, man. I'm not going to read all of these dudes' comments, man. These dudes are crazy. I guarantee you, like I said before, if we flip these guys, if Crawford had 27 wins and did what INOUE did, and we put INOUE in Crawford's situation where he beat gold medalist, silver medalist, he beat a number 3 pound-for-pound fighter, and he did everything he has done, which Crawford has done, we won't even be having this debate. Let's be real. Let's be real. You boxing fans act like y'all know what the freak y'all talking about. Y'all don't know anything about the sport of boxing. Y'all embarrass yourself every chance y'all get. Man, there's so much replies. It's ridiculous, man. These dudes are crazy, bro. These dudes are crazy. They just jumping in these comment section showing their complete bias. I'm giving them the facts. This clown says, after I said what I said and got over 500 likes, he says, boo-hoo. He says, bro, INOUE is a 2-time undisputed. He's 2-time undisputed too. Like, what are you talking about? INOUE is also 2-time undisputed champ who started at 108 and is now at 122. His last fight before Luis Neri was two different unified champs. He's been fighting champs and champ. Crawford has only fought one champion in the last 5 years. These dudes don't know shit about boxing. So I'm going to read some of what I said, and then we're going to close on my last big paragraph. I said, shut your casual ass up. INOUE just got dropped against a guy we all knew it was going to be a one-sided fight. He should have dropped on a pound-for-pound list. Then I hit him with this. If there's any racial agenda, it's pundits like you trying to diminish the accomplishments. Oh, no, this guy said that. Some guy said this to me. I never said that. Somebody said this to me. But I'm not going to read that bullshit. I didn't reply to him. I should have replied to him. But I didn't see. I might reply to him later. I thought that was my comment. But I'm not gonna give that guy shine because I never replied to him. If I would have saw that, I would have replied to him. But I'm gonna read what I said. So I replied to some guy, whatever he said. I said, yo, watch your mouth on here and you shut up. I think he told me to shut up. I spoke nothing but facts. You don't know shit about boxing. I make thousands on this sport every weekend. You run your mouth on the internet because you feel like you can. Show me your best slips. Let me show you, and show me your predictions ratio. Or keep your mouth shut and don't comment unless spoken to. I said, casual, look at the record and look at the resume. Will your idol ever reach 40 fights? He is 31 years old and only 27 fights. He may never even reach 40 fights. You just on here chatting. Crawford almost double his fights. Stop saying nonsense on here. Plus, the competition level is not comparable, you casual fangirl. I said, casual, Crawford did not. This is the part I like. I said, casual, Crawford did not fight one champ in 5 years. You don't know shit about boxing. A former champ also counts as a champ. Don't ever speak on the sport again. Once a champ, always a champ. You are very remedial to boxing. Crawford fought multiple champs in 5 years, but they were not current champs. It still goes to his resume as he beat a world champion. Before you open your mouth again, educate yourself on the sport because I will humiliate you every time. And then I don't see any more of my comments. I said, learn how to read or learn. I said he should have dropped on the list, not moved to number 1 spot. You lack comprehension skills. Let me see if I commented again. I said, you don't make money on the sport. Keep your mouth shut on here. You hear me? If you run your mouth, make sure you have proof. You know what? Make sure you have proof. You know what you're talking about. Difference from me and you. I get rich off of boxing every weekend. You troll on here for a few laughs. Who's really Spet? I think this guy called me Spet. I said, show me your best slips. Let's have something to go off. DM me right now, casual, and let's see who knows boxing and who makes money on it. They'll never do that because they don't put their money where their mouth is. It is what it is, guys. I've been going back and forth with these dudes on the internet. And none of these dudes know INOUE personally. They can't even relate to the guy because the guy doesn't even speak English. This guy is from a different country. They only supporting this guy because of the color of his skin. Now, like I said before, a lot of these boxing fans, they push a racial agenda. Now, like I said before, if we switch their resume and we switch their record, Terence Crawford was only 27-0 and INOUE was 40-0. We wouldn't be having this debate. With that being said, it's your boy No Credit. And